Monday's Talking Reds. It's me, Ian Ryan, with a very excitable Craig Hannan to discuss possibly one of the best weekends in all of our lives. Craig Hannan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was your weekend?
Huge. It was
something a little bit more than that.
It was massive. Look, you can't beat winning it at the death, can you? Yeah. No matter what way it is, whether it's by winning the penalty, whether it's like the VAR bit. As soon as he pointed to the spot, I was shouting to my mate saying like, VAR is gonna fuck this for us. I was sure they were gonna look at it and then go, oh no, it's not a penalty. Everything just seemed too good to be true, didn't it?
Very much was a penalty.
Yeah, it was a penalty. Yeah, I know you said on Match of the Day they were having a little bit of a go.
No, they weren't happy about it. They weren't happy about it. I mean, I go into most weekends full of hope and dreams, but that really was a special one. I mean, everything seemed to kind of go our way. Everything you want, it happened. I mean, just on Liverpool, before we maybe touch on some of the other stuff, it was very much pitched as this is a huge test. This is big. Yeah. Leicester are a good side. Brendan Rodgers is a decent manager. They've got some players who can, on their day, hurt you because of the way they play. They play very much on the counter. And yet, in fairness, it could have been a routine 2 or 3-0 win to Liverpool.
Yeah, and you mentioned it just before we come on here that you know, you'd seen online, you'd seen within the media that there was this feeling that Liverpool were a bit lucky, that maybe Liverpool got away with one there. I think that's so unfair. I think that we could have had more than the one before we get the penalty. I thought Leicester come into the game and maybe there was like a 10-minute spell where I thought, oh, here we go, Leicester maybe are going to get something from this game. But throughout the game, on the balance of things, I think Liverpool deserved to win that game. And you know, you watch that, and that's the kind of win that the title winners over the past sort of 10 years, 20 years, we've watched them do.
Absolutely.
Just somehow find a way to win. And Sadio Mane, when they equalise, Sadio Mane falls to his knees, and I don't know whether this is on TV, but I noticed it in the ground. He like fell to his knees, and it was this like, basically they know after last season how difficult it is to win the league, how many points you now need to amass to win the league, and they know that the draws like this, that you know that we can't afford to now. Considering what happened on Sunday, yeah, we could have afforded to, but I think that plays into their mindset, Man City, when they go into that game, that they go, oh fucking hell, not again, Liverpool have done it again, and it makes it that little bit more difficult, and we saw that happen to them. So it was just a huge win. I think it's massive. It's another game that we've got more points in the same fixture last season as well, which is a huge positive going into this international break.
I think you're right about the ability to turn the screw. I think you see that on the weekend where Man City know they can't make a mistake. That pressure just keeps building and building and building, and obviously the end result is, you know, City drop points on the Sunday. I want to touch a little bit more on Sadio Mane, because for me right now there are very few better players in world football than Sadio Mane. He's that level, he's that good. But in terms of the Premier League, he's arguably right now the best player in the league, along with maybe Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah. No, I agree. And
his levels in terms of what he's doing with the ball, without the ball,
it's incredible. Even his defensive work, which doesn't get spoken about enough, really. But when you watch him and how he's coming back to cover the left back and time again, and especially when Liverpool were under a little bit, you know, they were under the cosh for that 10 minutes that I spoke about, where Leicester end up they get the goal. But Mane was, he was digging in and digging deep to sort of help his teammates out, and I think that's something that just isn't talked about enough. As Sadio Mane, that he scores the goals, he can create, he can cause problems going forward, and he might be one of the best, well, he is one of the best attacking players in the world, maybe the best attacking player in the Premier League, but defensively as well, when he needs to dig deep to help his teammates out, he does that. And Lionel Messi votes for him as the best player in the world, and in those mad FIFA ones that Van Dijk didn't win, should have. But he is, he's invaluable to us, and there's often a bit of a debate around him and Salah with my mates, where they'll say, like, one of them said, I think I would, if I had to lose one of them, if I had to lose one of them, I'd rather lose Salah and not Mane, because of the levels he hits. I know it's a really difficult one, and it's not one you want it to be either, because neither of them are going anywhere and want to go anywhere, but that just goes to show that there's Mohamed Salah, one of the world's best, and then you've got Sadio Mane, who's possibly might be better than him. Do you know what I mean?
It's close, and that kind of conversation will rumble on. Speaking of the world's best, or certainly someone who thinks they are the world's best, Dejan Lovren comes in and has, let's give him his due here, because I've been critical of him in the past. He has a phenomenal game. He plays really, really well on the back of pretty much having no minutes.
Yeah, he really did, and I think. So there was a bit of, before the game I saw, just in the bar we were looking at the lineup come up, and I was looking at the comments around the starting lineup, and a lot of it was, oh shit, Dejan Lovren. I thought that's really, really unfair. I think that probably shows the levels that we're at these days, that Dejan Lovren's probably our fourth best central defender. He comes in, he puts in a performance like that, and like I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I really did, and you know, right at the end I was made up for him in front of the cop, like giving it the big one, him and Lallana at the end, because you know, he deserved that, and I think he's only really played MK Dons this season so far. It's the only time I can think of seeing him, and he was absolutely dreadful in that game, but he comes in, does really, really well, and suddenly he's in the conversation for you know, as to whether he starts the next game after the international break, or whether Matip's back, or whether Gomez deserves to be in there. You know, we've got some really, really good centre-back pairings, and look, we've all been massive doubters of Dejan Lovren throughout his whole career, and if you'd said to us after 6 months of his Liverpool career he'd still be here, he'd be a European champion, I wouldn't have believed you, but here he is, and you know, I'm happy we've kept him. I really am, because I'd rather than lose him to someone like Roma, I'd rather keep a player like him, and you know, have 4 really, really good options in there.
Brilliant. In terms of some other reaction from Liverpool Leicester game, you're now going to hear a small clip from our subscription service, the Post-Match Pint.
I think as well, look, we've had a week here where I think at the start of the week we're all looking at it, aren't we, and we're saying these are 2 big games, we need to win both of them. Here we are, Saturday night, we've won both of them. Town is going to be mad tonight. Everyone, it seems, is going to town for a bevy because they need to relax after that.
Yeah.
But listen, the week as a whole wasn't perfect. There wasn't always panache, but it's a sign of a really, really good side that you get through it and you've won both games. And I thought we saw that again today. You know, there's passes that are off, there are moments that are off. As has already been said, 2 of the front 3 don't play particularly well, but equally though, some of the usual characters do play well, you know, so Robertson's spirit is there again. Van Dijk's back to what we expect from Van Dijk after a bit of a wobbly midweek game. Fabinho again, you know what I mean? And this is the thing now, isn't it, that we've got these characters right through the side that you know you can rely on, that you know are digging in. And the reaction, by the way, at the end, and when they scored the goal, was shivers up the spine stuff, wasn't it? They want this. They
and
want
that's
this.
it. And do you know what?
As much as we do.
You can say now as well, if you're really, really analysing maybe the last 3 or 4 performances, Sheffield United away, we weren't great, we get the result done. We're top of the league, 8 out of 8 in the league. We're in a good position in the Champions League draw. We're through in the other cup, whatever it's called these days. And potentially not really out of second gear. And that's the other thing. There's more to come. You're saying about Bobby and Mo maybe not being on it as maybe they should be. Well, Sam, we're still top of the league, 8 out of 8.
That was a clip from our post-match pint show, recorded immediately after the game at Anfield. Robbo hosts it every single week and after every single game. If you don't already, or if you haven't already downloaded the Anfield Wrap app, if you download the Anfield Wraps app for free, create an account, takes 2 minutes, you'll be able to watch that. You'll get some free tokens if you're not already a subscriber to give some of the premium content a go and watch the post-match pint as well. So get on that.
In terms of the rest of the weekend, obviously it starts to take a little bit of it takes a huge turn on Sunday. So you're kind of expecting Man City to do what Man City do and go and beat Wolves. And Wolves aren't in a great place at the minute. Yes, they're improving a little bit, but you don't expect that on Sunday. You don't expect that on Sunday.
Oh, do you know what? I've sort of done the same as you. I've not been watching Man City. I've just sort of thought to myself, do you know what? I think after last season, I think that the weight that's lifted off winning the European Cup means that, you know, I'm not as tense with every game as we were last season. And so this time it's been, no, I'll check the results, I'll see how they're getting on, but really it doesn't make or break my weekend whether Man City win or lose.
It does mine.
Or I thought. So I check it and it's like the 70th minute and it's 0-0 and I'm like, I might have a little go at this, you know, I might have a little, so get a stream and just to turn it on, they've gone 1-0 up. And you know, when you look at the scoreboard and it's in your head that it's going to be City. So I see the one and go, oh yes, it was incredible.
Deservedly so, by the
Definitely.
way. Wolves win that game deservedly so. It could be a huge point in the season. And for me, I can't believe it's this tense in October. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm stressed to fuck all the time because...
And you're 8 points clear.
I'm 8 points clear, so
clear.
God knows what state I'll be in kind of March, April time. But it is a huge thing in the season. For Wolves to go and do that, for City to suffer a defeat, they've already suffered 2, they only suffered 4 the whole of last season. They're, I suppose, at the point now where they know they can't make any other mistakes. They go to Palace in a couple of weeks' time, Saturday night, R5. That doesn't feel like a good game to go and have straight on the back of a defeat.
You said it's over already. I'm only joking. No, it's very difficult to win the Premier League. It's very difficult to win it 2 years in the bounce, and it's really, really difficult to win it 3 years in the bounce. And you know, for them to have to pick themselves up again, but also to pick themselves up and sort of go again and try, we're going to do this for the 3rd year in a row when you've got someone like Liverpool who aren't biting on your heels anymore. They're way out ahead. 8 points clear going into this international break is insane.
Yeah, and in fairness, you know, we joke about it, but there's still loads of work to be done.
Of course.
Liverpool and from our perspective, but we can just keep doing what we're doing, which is finding different ways to win loads of different types of football matches. And I think that's one of the things that's been a standout for me. We are able to win footy matches in all types of ways. I'm not sure Man City can say that. No. I don't think they've got a real soft underbelly where at the minute, because of the Laporte thing, you can absolutely get at them. And I think Wolves smelt blood and they sensed that, and that's what they've gone and done. Other news, I mean, obviously Sunday then sees Newcastle beat Manchester United, which in itself is fabulous.
Where are you going with this?
And as a knock-on effect to that, the billionaires find themselves in the bottom 3. Now, personally, I'm going to miss the Derby games next season. It's a bit of a blow in some ways, but I'll be all right with it. We'll go and get those 4 to 6 points somewhere else, I'm sure. Another big game, the United-Newcastle one, and obviously then what happens with Everton is huge. From their perspective.
Do you know what? I won a bet on Saturday. Me and my mates did a bet and we won about 150 quid each on it. And it was, we picked 4 teams and we were in the bar before and I was feeling a bit boisterous and I was like, who's Everton playing? They said Burnley and I was like, get them in. and no matter who they'd have said, I was getting them in. But the fact that and Milner's penalty wins the bet for us was just brilliant. But I had a little look at the league table yesterday and I was like, hold on. It was like all the Christmases had come at once. We're sat 8 clear.
It's a gorgeous
and then
league
suddenly you realise Everton find themselves, and well, at that stage it was 17th. So I actually tweeted saying, fuck me, Everton are 17th. And then Newcastle win. It's like, fuck me, Everton are the relegation zone. I think we'd all love to see them go down, wouldn't we?
I'm saying nothing, mate.
just think about it.
It's interesting times ahead for that football club. And as I say, you know, United are also someone who looks like they are, well, they're a shambles, quite frankly. I mean, they are a shambles. It's probably the worst United team I've seen since 89-90, and they finished bottom half that season, and it looks like they are capable of finishing bottom half again. Just kind of wrapping up now, really. Obviously, we've got the international break, which is always a bit of a shame, but it's not a bad time for Liverpool in terms of getting Mo Salah fit and stuff. But I'll leave you with this. Liverpool are now 17 league wins on the spin. They are 8 from 8 this season. Jurgen Klopp's team are top of the league. They are 8 points clear of Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. These are very much the days. Enjoy the rest of your week. It's been Monday's Talking Reds.